I arrived for my ceremony. One of the first things that we did was ceremonial Hape. This is basically a mixture of powdered tobacco, ash, and other plants that is put into a blowpipe. You guide one end into one of your nostrils, and then the person that's holding the ceremony blows from the other end so that the powder shoots straight up into your nose. It's believed to cleanse the mind and body, stimulate the senses, and promote a spiritual, meditative, or grounding connection to yourself and to whatever ceremony you're about to partake in. I tried to meditate afterwards, but it made me feel really nauseous and dizzy. And pretty soon I had to excuse myself and go sit on the toilet, which actually turns out to be a very good thing for reasons that I'll explain in a bit. Next, we shared what our intentions were for being there. Mine were to cleanse my body physically, but also, and more importantly, to release these emotional and physical blockages that I have in my life. After that, I was told to drink about 6 coffee cups of water. This helps to flush out toxins and prepare the body for the purging process, but it also leaves your stomach feeling very uncomfortable, and I had the sense that it would be very easy for me to purge or vomit once the Kambo actually kicked in. Because Kambo can dramatically lower your blood pressure, I was told that if I needed to use the toilet once it kicked in, I would have to crawl to the restroom rather than standing up and walking in order to avoid passing out. This is why it was actually really good that the Hape made me have to go beforehand. As I was drinking the water, the Kambo practitioner used a candle and a stick to burn the top layer of skin off of 3 little points in my arm. It felt like a quick sting, basically like getting a shot at the doctor's office. Then the Kambo, a white secretion from an Amazonian frog, was applied to the first dot on my arm. Within 60 seconds, I felt my stomach gurgling and start to slowly constrict tighter and tighter. I knew that it would keep escalating until I eventually purged. My body temperature rose, I felt a bit faint and woozy, and then those cups of water I had just consumed came charging out into my bucket. The pressure and velocity of it made me feel like a water pump. I noticed that my friend, who was sitting next to me, filled her giant bucket about halfway, basically getting all of the water out. I, on the other hand, only filled up about a quarter and still felt very sick. Like there was a lot left in my stomach. It was suggested that I get on all fours to help it come out. When it couldn't, I was told to either induce vomiting by sticking my fingers down my throat or doing more Hape. Since just the idea of more Hape made me feel sick, I tried the fingers approach. It helped a little bit, but I still felt sick and stuck. And so finally I said, I don't want to, but let's do the Hape. With Hape, you're supposed to receive it in each of your nostrils, not just one. But as soon as I received it in the first, I immediately purged into my bucket. I finished the Hape and purged some more, and slowly I was starting to feel lighter and better. I remember sitting there with my head in the bucket, snot coming out of my nose, tears coming out of my eyes, and still feeling sick, and just kind of laughing to myself about the absurdity of it all. Like, I knew why I was here in Peru. I knew why I was venturing into this world of these medicines or substances, but I couldn't help but think that if someone from my family or just some stranger walked by and saw what was happening and that I was actually paying to have this experience, they would probably think that I had lost my mind. And maybe in some weird way, I really appreciated the idea of that contrast. I cleared everything out of my stomach and began to feel very emotional. This might sound really cheesy, but as I was thinking about all of this, all of a sudden, I felt this immense love for myself. I loved that I took myself out of the grind back home and went on an adventure. I loved that I was traveling alone and now sharing this crazy experience with a new friend. I loved that I was brave or crazy enough to put myself through things like Kambo, ayahuasca, or wachuma, because I loved that I was doing it purely with the intention of challenging my comfort zone, following the callings and curiosities of my heart, and simply trying to be the best version of myself that I can be. My body suddenly felt relieved, and I sat there with new tears streaming down my face, not because of the purging, but because of this feeling of gratitude I had. I try to practice gratitude for the things and people that I have in my life, but today was this reflection, this gratitude for myself that I often don't let myself feel for fear of becoming self-centered or vain. It felt very peaceful. About 20 minutes had passed and we wrapped up the ceremony with something called sananga. It's this eye drop made from Amazonian plants that the facilitator puts in each of your eyes. Your eyes feel like they're on fire for about 10 seconds, but it's believed that sananga can improve your vision, and it's often used in ceremonial and spiritual contexts by indigenous tribes in order to facilitate spiritual insights, emotional release, and energetic purification. My friend and I sat on the grass in the sunshine and ate a bowl of oranges that were given to us, which, after all of this, were so freaking delicious. The facilitator explained to us the significance of the color of our purging. Mine was yellow-green, and my friend's was a darker brown with a hint of red. We shared about our experiences and had a nice chat before heading out, and this is what I looked like after the ceremony. If you like this video and want me to make more videos about using travel as a way of growing into better versions of ourselves, please hit the thanks button down below and support the channel.